Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and it's time for a controversial view. Here we go, guys. This is a big one. Walt Disney's The Song of the South. Now, my history with this film, I did watch this when I was younger. Of course, when I was really young, we didn't have, I'm already preparing myself to get you guys had smoke signals and fire and all this kind of stuff. But when I was younger, the movies were the only places we could see film or on television. And Song of the South was re-released several times. It originally came out in 43, I believe. And it got recycled in the 70s a couple times, and the last time was in 86, I believe. And then, of course, the powers that be in 1991 said that this would never have another re-release from Disney. And of course, later on, the powers that be said this would never be on Disney Plus. Okay. Although, in a couple countries, this film has lapsed in um, eminent domain, and they have been making it available. So this movie technically is available, although I don't know if it's in English. Um, I was fortunate enough to have a friend who was able to help me out with this. And it took me a little while, but I did remember it. Now, this does go into eminent domain, and I believe it's 2035 or 2039. So, anyone can pick up the rights and re release it, or make a bunch of horror movies about it. Who knows? The possibilities are endless. So, it had been a good 40 years since I originally watched this, and I've seen it a couple times since. As a matter of fact, my cousin, who also liked Rick Springfield, of course, you already saw that video by this time. She also liked Barry Manilow, and she had the Song of the South soundtrack on tape. And speaking of the soundtrack, this has one of the most catchy and one of Disney's most famous songs in Zippity Doo Dah. But now we have new context for Zippity Doo Dah. As a matter of fact, they've gone so far as to change the ride in Disney World to keep people from being offended. A ride that stood there for years and years. Now, what did I think of this film? Man, this film brought back a lot of memories for me. I remember watching it several times, and Joe watched it when he was younger too. And the funny thing about this, of course, I watched it with family and other things because that's what you did. You put on a Disney film. The funny thing is, when I watched this movie, I really enjoyed it. As a matter of fact, I think this was even put on the little golden books. And somebody had it. I can't remember if it was somebody that my friend was babysitting or one of my cousins or somebody. Because I remember the adventures of Brer Rabbit. And of course, Uncle Remus. So this was quite popular. I don't think Walt Disney expected it to do as well as it did, but he did say he found one of the best actors ever in James Baskett, who also played Uncle Remus. And I agree. The guy was great in this film. So, what's all the hubbub? Well, There's a lot of problems with this film about racism. And I tried to look at it from every angle. Unfortunately, I couldn't get past my young self when I originally watched this and thought, I don't see any racism in this film. Not even subliminally. This movie is fun. It's an entertaining film, an entertaining kids' film with animated characters, and it was like live action mixed with animation at some points. And the Uncle Remus tales were the best part of the film. And not only that, but Uncle Remus was a hero of sorts in the film. Walt Disney had a tremendous amount of confidence in James Baskett. As a matter of fact, this guy was the first African American man to win an Academy Award for his portrayal. Now, I know you're going to say, no, it was Sidney Poitier in 1960. What? Exactly. He didn't win the year this came out. He got an honorary Oscar for his portrayal of Uncle Remus in this film. And I just, I don't get it. I mean, yes, there are things that play into what the country was like at that time because this takes place in right after the Civil War. And this was during the Reconstruction. So everyone cries that, oh, this is slavery and this and that. And that's not what it's about. As a matter of fact, during the Reconstruction, the quote unquote slaves could go anywhere they wanted. And they did in the film. That's what amazes me. I don't think people watch things or they don't understand and they just jump to conclusions. I mean, I went through this movie with a fine tooth comb and I was entertained the whole time. Uncle Remus was a hero. He was a great storyteller who taught the children to use their imagination. I don't get it. I really don't. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with, because I kind of want this to be a little bit of a discussion, just try to keep it nice. The thing I'm going to leave you guys with, and the thing you should think about, is that James Baskett and Hattie McDaniel did not find this movie offensive at all. They said if they did, they would have never been in it. Don't forget to check out Joe's controversial view for Song of the South. Remember, guys, physical media matters. And I am not in favor of censorship. Until next time, peace.